Hello everyone, it's me, Coffee Stitcher. It is the third Sunday, right? Yes. Yes, it is the third Sunday in April. Otherwise, there wasn't even the first day of the month is a Sunday. Although remember back in, I think it was 2014, oh god, that was a while back, when, maybe it was 2015, it was one of the two where February, because of the 28 days, began and ended, and it just filled the calendar oh so nicely. Remember that? That was wonderful. I'm weird, I know. How is everybody? I hope you all had a great week. As you may recall, I was off this week. So I got a fair amount accomplished. I got my stitchy stuff reorganized, which was great. I worked on some things, which was always great. Went to IKEA, got a fabulous metal pour-over for coffee, which makes way better coffee, I think, than my French press did. Like, I'm loving this. So all in all, I've had a good week. We've got Q&A, of course. There's no haul to speak of, but I do have tentative Maynia plans, as well as whip updates. So without further ado, let's dive right on in. Liz Durbin asks, how do you deal with when you're stitching with two threads, one of them getting shorter than the other? What causes this? Is there a way to stitch that prevents this from happening? Honestly, I think what causes it is uneven cutting. Or when you initially get it in there, they don't stay perfectly even. I run into that where it's not usually a drastic difference. Usually it's maybe like that much of a difference between the two. And I just work around it. I've never really found a way to correct it. Where I actually tend to notice it the worst is if I've done the loop method and then not run out of the color, I'm done with it, and then I cut it, and then later I go back and realize that I cut at an angle. That's generally where I run into that at. Gmos asks, what color and thread are you using for the frames on your Storytime sampler? I like the dark frames better than the light version. Is this the second time you're stitching it? Is that one for a gift, or did you just put it away for a time and pull it out again? I'm using Brown Bear by Gentle Arts. I had to use two skeins, and I didn't get a close enough match between the first skein and the second skein, so some of the frames are darker than others, but that's okay. They're still the same color family. They still look like they go together. This is technically the second time. I started it, and I did it on that blue with the white dot fabric, and I was having to constantly change things to make it work on that fabric, and I burned out on it. And while I liked the majority of the stories they picked, I was so excited for Wizard that once Wizard showed up in April of that year, it kind of deflated my sale on it. I was like, oh, well, now the one that I wanted is here. What else is there for me to look forward to? So I'm actually doing this as our wedding sampler. So I've got Sherlock and Dorothy left to go, and then the banner up at the top that the pumpkins very graciously recharted with our last names. And then I'm going to fill in where, on the little side pieces, I'm going to backstitch in 2017, because that's the year we got married in. Or I may find a place to backstitch in the actual wedding date. I haven't decided yet. I was thinking about doing maybe a small banner down at the bottom, but I don't know. I don't know. I know Kiara the Greytail did that with hers, and I know she's very, very, very particular about people using her ideas. So, I don't know. So this one was a restart, and I didn't work on it for a while. I restarted it in 16 before the wedding, and then I didn't pick it up again until, well, really this year. And I made it my finish plan. Um, okay. Alpha Stitchery asks, how did you first get the confidence to start changing up patterns? I just did it. I think the first one that I really did that with was the Frosted Pumpkin Once Upon a Time. And it was, oh, well, I like it, but I want to add something. No, it would have been Mysterious Halloween Town. And the decision there was that I didn't want to fill in the glass on the haunted house, I think. And I think that's sort of where that came from. So, but yeah, no, I've never really been concerned about making changes. It, you know, where when I do big ones, my big concern is, well, is this going to match the overall piece? Is this going to look like it's cohesive? So I have to be careful there sometimes. But otherwise, no, I'm not ever really too concerned by it. So, and that's, the ones that I've really stressed that with were, like, the Soda Stitch and getting the hair right, because hair is tricky. Okay, so I think that's all of the Q&A. So let's get on with the whips. As you know, I said I think I was going to work on Longfellow's Round Tower, and I did. I've gone back to my goal method, because I find that works best for me. So my goal was to finish 2 of the towers. So it took all day Sunday to do this tower window here. But there it is. It's gorgeous, but it's from there up is all over 1. So it looks beautiful. And then I did the bottom half of that, of the gold tower. So the big tower is done. So here's what it looks like. So next month's goal is going to be to finish out the towers. And then after that, I've just got the words, and we'll have a page finish. And then there's not too terrible much. There's a well and the bottom half of the tree and a couple more over 1 birds on over here. So we'll be, my goal is to finish this one this year. So this is Longfellow's Tower by Tempting Tangles. I'm using all the called for DMC. I haven't done any color changes there. And it's on 32 count Garrett's Time Machine by Die Stitch Love. All right. Then, in my organizing, I went through and sort of looked at what I was working on. Some things got UFO'd, but I pulled out the Sing a Sampler, and I finished Fa, A Long, Long Way to Run. So, and that was my conversion of the runner to Maria. So next month, I'll work on me. Maybe. We'll see. Maynia is going to throw a few kinks in the system, so there may be some alterations to plans because of So I worked on Fa, and then I started the Jardin Privé, Way to Happiness, and I went back and forth on if I was going to do the French or not, but G speaks French, I don't, and my mother really kind of liked it, so this may end up going to my mother. So ultimately I decided on English, but I did the first part. I'm doing it on a sort of blue-green, more blue than green fabric that I got from my friend Erin. No idea what the actual color name is, no idea where it what it is. I'm not even sure if it's 28 or 32 count. I'm doing it, instead of with the Nina's threads, I did a gentle art conversion. So the words are done in Garden Gate. The dark brown is acorn. The light brown is maple syrup. The green is bayberry. The lighter green is shutter green. The lighter pink is pink azalea. The darker red pink is pomegranate. And then the blue is a limited edition called crocus. So there we go. So I started that on Friday night, finished it yesterday afternoon, because I decided I wanted a vacation start. And then I'm going to have a birthday start on the 28th. And as of now, this can always change, but as of now, it's going to be the Papillon Creations, or the Papillon, I think it's Papillon Creations, Around the World in 80 Stitches, also known apparently as Not a Heart. And I'll be doing it with all DMC on this beautiful 32 count opal and Niven from Ship's Manor. So, which it's showing up much more yellowy. It's a little bit lighter in person. So that's the current plan there. Although I may instead start the Lakeside Needlecraft Seasonal Street Sow, because that's really pretty. But I also may not. We'll see. Alright, so that brings us to the Maynia plans. So first up, because the Queen of Starts twisted my arm about it, first up is going to be Quaker Mermaid by RETM. I'm doing it on the called for fabric, which is Opalescent Gina from Under the Sea, or not Under the Sea, excuse me, Stephanie's. So there's the fabric. I'll start this one in the middle, so I'm actually going to be starting with the mermaid. It was originally, and mine's one of the first printings, so it was originally charted with Dragonfly Lotus Designs, and then Liz stopped doing her stuff. So instead of using the Lagoon and the Soft Spearmint, or using, because it did come with options for Classic Colorworks, I'm doing Seaweed from Gloriana and Peacock Blue from Gloriana. So, and then the rest I'm either going to use the called for, or I will wing it as I go. Okay, so that's going to be one of the starts. I haven't picked days or anything for it yet. One start is going to be, finally, the Mary Sampler, which was from Plum Street. It was a freebie. I'm doing it on Crystal Storm. So there's that. And it's all gentle arts. I did do a little bit of color swapping just from what I had available. So I'll work on that. I'm going to start the William Morris that I've been looking at for a little while. And it's the one that's the tea tray, so it's going to be on this, this here, that I need to get serged. There's a couple of these that I need to get serged. It's just a dark blue. It's much more blue in person. So we'll start that one. We're going to start All Is Well by Shepherd's Bush. It's this one. I'm doing some called for, some DMC, because some of the colors, there were like 4 stitches, and I'm just not going to go out and buy that color just for the 4 stitches. So, and I'll be doing it on 32 count Autumn in Joblin by Under the Sea. So it's a little pinkier in person, which I think is going to work really well for that. And then last but not least, I will be starting the Lizzie Kate Green series. There it is in full. So I'm planning, I think I'll start with Be Kind to Animals, because obviously puppy bears. And I'll be doing it with mostly the called for. I've done a little bit of substitution. And it's going to be on this Parisian neutral stripe from Fabric Flair. So, and it's a 32 count. So those are the Maynia starts. As of now, things can always change. But that's kind of the goal there. So anyhow, I think that's about it for me this week. I hope everyone has a great week coming up, and I will see you all next week.